not playing very well. I can't think of a time I've been more disappointed in maybe myself. I mean, it's my job, and we look like a softer team, and that solely falls on me, nobody else. So I think we started out so poorly, and then we battled back and tied it. Had some shots, you know, Harris missed some shots that he's going to make, but when that was tied and they went inside, and Brandon had a rough night, and they just overpowered even him. 2 buckets in a row, I think it told the story for the night. So, in general, give them credit. I mean, they're a 60% free throw shooting team. They made all their free throws until it didn't matter. They hammered us on the boards, but we didn't follow the game plan, and that's my job to hold them accountable. I mean, they still made 2 threes, and that's what they've done all year, and yet we're bellied up on a weak side. We just did some uncharacteristic things on our part, and you know, we were cramping up, we were tired. I mean, Payne hasn't practiced very much. He's got a little plantar fasciitis, and that's been a problem. And so he couldn't go very long. And Costello's got a little, actually, I thought it was the flu, but it might be a slight case of mono, and wasn't even going to play him. He played as hard as anybody on our team, and I give him probably the most credit. But usually play how you practice, guys, and we played how we practiced. I'm not saying that. And I'll take questions.
Tom, Roy Williams just said, quote, "Today Michigan State did not want it that much more than we did." Did you see that, or do you think it was more injuries and guys?
No, I agree with him 100%. So I said we uncharacteristically look soft. I mean, we just did not play with the tenacity. The loose balls, they got them all early. Crowd tried to bring us back, and we didn't even let that happen. And we have no one to blame but ourselves. I think there's 20 people responsible: players, coaches, trainers. Everybody in our group is responsible, and we're going to have to fix it. But it's one game, and they made some shots, banked in a couple. They hit some free throws that rolled around at 60%, as I said, shooting team, and they made a lot of throws during that stretch when it mattered. But I'd say that's an honest statement.
Tom, can you talk about these games against North Carolina? Talk about these games against North Carolina. What type of magic do you think UNC might have over Michigan State basketball?
Yeah, it's a good question. We just didn't get the job done, you know. I don't know if it's magic. I mean, there's been times like in the Final Four, they're just better than us. I wouldn't count tonight as one of those. Give them right credit. I mean, they came off a loss and they looked hungry, and we came off all the hype and we looked not as hungry. So part of the growing process, part of the learning process, I guess. It's very, very disappointing. I mean, we've been down 50-20 at halftime against Memphis, and I thought we played harder than we did, you know, in the first part of this game. And it's my deal, guys. It's all on me.
Tom, what can you and your team take away from this game?
Don't practice well, you don't play well. You don't play hard, you don't be successful. I mean, they didn't make any shots. I mean, they made shots inside, but I mean, 2 for 11 from the 3. You know, wasn't like they just overpowered us. And you know, we said we weren't going to let them post. We're playing behind. Give them credit. They used their bulk and their muscle, and you know, and but we didn't play very hard, guys. We didn't play very well, and I don't know what that is attributed to, other than we have not practiced very well. Not had many guys in practice some of the times, and can't practice one day in 6 and expect to be able to shoot the ball well, and 2 days in 6 and be able to get up and down the court without getting tired. I mean, it's the way it is, and some of that's not their fault. And yet, but enough other guys that could have stepped up and didn't step up.
Tom, how key is it with Dawson, for you to push the right buttons, for him to push the right buttons, to be the player he can be more consistently?
Yes, give him that.
Keith, is that a hip thing during the first half? And then with Gary, obviously it looked like he had a couple of drives where he just couldn't even push out the ankle. How big of a concern is that moving forward?
You know, I asked him, and he acted like he just slipped, so I don't know, but that's exactly what I saw. On two of those, they were dead layups, you know, when it was still a 7-6 point game. So I don't know. I have no clue. I did not. As far as Keith goes, he got it pretty good on the hip, and he's about as tough a guy as I got. So, you know, I'm sure he'll be sore, but he's got some days to recover. Although, you know, practice. You know, although let me say this: if you don't practice, you still ought to be able to suck it up and do a better job than we did getting loose balls. Nine more shots, things like that. But I can't blame that all on guys being out. Yeah.
Tom, with 10 days till your next game and 17 till Texas, will you consider maybe doing what you did with Gary and giving him more rest?
You know, I don't really know. Right now, we need to be practicing. We got finals coming up, and I'm gonna get a lot of practice in next week. So, you know, I'm trying to go a couple days, take a day or two off, go a couple days, take a day or two off, and then go the last 2 days. But I can guarantee you this, I sure as hell ain't worried about Texas. I'm worried about Michigan State. You know, Texas, we got 5 games before Texas or whatever. You know, guys, we just didn't do the things that championship caliber teams needed to do at big games, and that is so disappointing.
Time for a couple more.
Coach, you mentioned coming off the hype. Do you think that some of this was the #1 ranking getting in your guys' head a little bit?
I don't know.